Hello! It's always such a technical feat to get it alive streaming to the Fairy Chic Club, but I think, fingers crossed, we've done it. It's really nice to be invited back again to the Fairy Chic Club. I'm a great supporter of the club in any way I can, really. It's just such a friendly place to be, isn't it? We all offer support to each other, and financially, there's now this really great discount list that Paula's gathered together for all of us to make use of. So tonight I'm doing something not fine art. I've been bitten by the thrifting bug, which Paula and Manda have been doing, except I'm not really going to go around the shops like they do, because frankly I've got half of what the shops have in my house and I really need to use them up and get them gone. I sell most of my things locally at a florist's shop. We don't live in a town, we live nowhere. We live somewhere, we live here, but there's nothing around us. There's no pub, nothing, no shop even. So I sell in the nearest town, which is about 10 miles away, say, something like that. And they do sell my craft things. That those of you that remember me of old, before I went purely over to the acrylic painting, will remember that on a Saturday night I used to do a Saturday Night Live, and it was always about crafting things, wasn't it, Mr. Fix-It?
Hours, if you want.
I'll just say this because it's in what was in my mind. Yeah, the Miss Paintalot Saturday nights were generally about crafting things, more to do with that side of it. But it just always went wrong, and I'm sure people in the end were joining in just simply because it was just awful. It just always went wrong. And the other thing I want to say before I go on to saying hi to everyone is that one there. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel. It's Miss Paintalot. It makes such a difference to all of us, to Paula, to Manda, to me, to anyone who's got a YouTube channel. The more people we have, the more we get spread around, the more YouTube search engine picks us up and pushes us to the top. So if you can, it doesn't, you won't get any emails or anything at all. It just makes a difference to me. So if you could see your way to subscribe to my YouTube channel, Miss Paintalot, I'd be most grateful to you. Okay, who's joining us tonight then, Mr. Fix-It?
We have Lindy Bolton.
Hiya, Lindy. Thank you.
Jill Dennis.
Hiya, Jill.
Heike Marrow.
Oh, Heike, your stencils went off in the post yesterday.
And Paula.
Hiya, Paula. You already have your stencils. Stencil.
Heike says she needs to go out again. She can't hear you. So I've just asked the question if anybody else can actually hear you.
Oh, I can hear me.
I can hear you.
I was singing a Billy Connolly song, actually.
Ruth Sayers.
Oh, Ruth, yes. Hello, Ruth. Thanks for all the sharing and everything that you do, Ruth. You do a great job for us all. Thank you.
Ruth can hear you. So that's
yay! Good. Right then. So shall we get cracking, do you think?
Let's get cracking.
Let's get cracking. Okay. So can we point down here? Tonight, Matthew, I'm going to be
in a crate.
in a crate. You might not hear me very well. And it's one of these Ikea crates that everybody's had a go at doing. I've done, I don't know how many I've done. I've done a lot. It's called Naglig, I think. I mean, if you're Swedish, I'm really sorry. It's probably not pronounced like that at all. And they come in two different sizes. They come in the large one, which is £9. And there's a smaller one, which is exactly half size, which is £5. And the £5 one is really great, actually, for just dashing things in. And this one's slightly larger, and it makes good storage. So it comes flat packed There's 2 this size, which are the long sides. There's 2 shorter ones with handles in, and then there's base. And they're not difficult to put together, says she now. Remind me of this later. And for our makeover tonight, for this one, we're going to be using milk paint, which is, I think, a really useful paint that gets a bit of a bad rap, really. It's unpredictable, and a lot of people can't stand that unpredictability. They like to know that it's going to be, you know, really nice and everywhere's covered and there's nothing chipping off it and whatever. But I kind of like that, actually. I kind of I can live with that. If you're looking for a real sort of vintagey old feeling to things, you know, and then you wax it with a darkish wax, it can look really, really effective. So I'm using for this 2 different colours of milk paint. One's called Grey Oak, which is unsurprisingly grey, and the other one is Retro, which is this one, and it's sort of creamy, a dark creamy colour, I would say. Now, I think a lot of people are put off with milk paint because it comes in a sachet, it's a powder, and you've got to do something to it. You know, you don't just open the lid and off you go. But it's really, really easy. I mean, it's just, don't be put off by it. The reason milk paint does not come in a jar or a tin is because it actually has casein, I think it's called, is the milk protein that it has. And so once it's made up, it has a finite time. And once you've made it up, you can keep it in the fridge for 2 or 3 days. Try not to keep it any longer than that, because when it goes off, it absolutely stinks. And of course, I'm probably supposed to tell you not to keep it in a fridge with food in or whatever. I do. We haven't died yet. But really, don't keep it for very long. 2 or 3 days, you're fine with. And all you do with it is you open the packet quite carefully, because it's a very light powder. Get a measure of sorts. I use a tablespoon, an old kitchen tablespoon measure. And if you measure out 2 parts of your powder, you put in 2 parts of warmish water. Stir it round, and that's it. There's nothing more complicated than that.
Mary Posner says she's going to have to catch you later because she's in a tent and the rain's beating down.
Mary, what are you doing in a tent? Tent? Oh my goodness.
Probably like the picture of you in a crate made a chuckle.
So this is my paint that I made up yesterday, because I was doing sort of prep for this yesterday. It's gone quite thick, as you can see. So I'm organised tonight, guys. Something's going to go wrong because I'm quite organised. I've brought some water in a jug. I'm just laughing because I'm never organised. And I'm just going to take that brush out. I mean, if you were being really, you know, good, you'd have taken this out and washed it last night, but I didn't. So I've got a stirry stick in here. It's actually a kebab from a pack of 50 kebabs from Tesco. Sainsbury's sell them as well, I don't know, anywhere probably. And it's perfect for milk paint. It's long enough so you don't have to get your hands dirty. And it's got that sort of thicker bit on the end that gets into the corners of these plastic cups that I get available lots of places. So I'm just going to add a little bit of water into this mix.
Look at the gain on people having troubles. Yep. You speak again now?
Forgot what I was saying now. Yeah, when you're using milk paint, as you're using it, if you're painting something large like a dresser or a chest of drawers or whatever, as you're working with it, leave your stirry stick in there and give it a stir every now and then, because it can settle out a little bit. I've never had that with this particular brand of paint, but I'm just warning you, it can. So leave your stirry stick in and every now and then give it a bit of a stir. So this is one of the long sides that I was telling you about, too long, too short on the ends. And I've already given it a coat of the grey. Yeah, I'll show you that in a minute. So just paint with it, and it's just the easiest thing in the world to paint with. We're all right.
Better now. I've turned the gain up on the mic.
Are we doing better?
Yeah.
Good.
Alison Young joined us.
Hi, Alison.
Sorry to keep interrupting.
Milk paint is just, I really honestly think it is the easiest paint ever to use. You just can't get brush strokes. It just goes on beautifully. And especially beautifully onto raw wood. That's it, really at its peak, I would say. And it also does another thing if you want it to. If you make up a weaker solution, i.e. more water than powder, say something like 1 part powder, 3 parts water, you actually get a stain. And it just sinks into the grain of the wood. So you can have a red stain, a green stain, and any colour that you've got milk paint in, and it just sinks down into it. And once it's sunk down into it, get your hemp oil out and just go over it with a rag, and that's it, it's finished. So it's just it's a lovely thing. It's a thing of joy to me. Although today I've had a bit of a trial with it. More on that later. So, as I say, I'm brushing over and over and over the same bit. If you were using other paints, you'd have brush marks galore. Just doesn't happen with milk paint. And if you really, really want to make sure that you're not going to get chippiness, you like all this that I'm telling you about, no brush strokes, blah, blah, but you're not sure that you actually want chippy that you can't control, and Paula knows all about that, then they do a thing called bonding agent, and you actually, on the thing, it's got instructions, and you mix it through your paint in whatever ratio they tell you. I can't remember what it is now, but it's a cut. To me, it looks like PVA glue. I'm not sure that is what it is, but that is exactly what it looks like. And so it will then give you stickability. Whatever you paint it onto, it's not going anywhere. It's not going to chippy on you, or it shouldn't. Milk paint kind of has a mind of its own, really, or it can do. So there we are. That's that, pretty effortlessly painted in. It's just looking lovely. Really like it.
She keeps hers in the fridge.
Once it's made up, yeah. I do.
It says don't leave it too long, it stinks.
Yeah, that's what I said. It really stinks. Absolutely does. So I'll pass that to Mr. Fix-It so he can pop that by the fire and get it dry for us. Now then, the next thing I want to show you is what? I can't remember. What's the next thing in the running order? I can't remember.
The chippy paint going on this.
Oh, was I not going to do something while that was drying?
If it takes too long, you're going to do
the stencil.
You can take the chippy off. That's a bit prem.
Yeah. Okay.
Talk about something else.
Well, I'll talk about stencils for a while. You may have noticed that.
Paul said thank you for the tiny bag.
Oh, brilliant! I can't wait to see what you do with it. I'll tell you where I was thinking it might look nice, Paula. Is your hippie lampshade that you got? If you made beads with that, wired them, and then went through where the wire is on your lampshade, so they were hanging off. Just an idea. Just thinking about it. Yeah, we do a range of stencils. When I was a fusion stockist and I had a shop, we did a lot of stencils, a huge range of stencils actually, and they were very popular. So much so that we bought a really big, expensive cutter, professional cutter, and then I gave up the shop. So we actually weren't selling stencils anymore. Well, now I've decided to reintroduce stencils, but bespoke stencils, really, not just, can I have a flower or can I have what? There's loads of places that will sell you generic stencils, and they will probably be cheaper than us. So have a look. But if you want something that says your name, your shop's name, your business logo, whatever it is, send us a picture. We'll have a try. I'm not saying we can do everyone, but we'll have a try. So if you're interested, contact me through the Miss Paintalot page, message me there, or leave a message in these comments, whatever. I don't really want this to be a sales pitch, which is what it's kind of turning out to be. However, let's just put the stencils on here. Although Mr. Handyman, Mr. Fix-It, sorry, he's got a new name. He's doing his best. I can hear him with the hairdryer upstairs. Oh, he's coming, so I'll just put that away and tease you with that a little bit later. Dry? Thank you. It really doesn't take long for milk paint to dry, because it soaks in, so much of it soaks in. So now we can move on to the second part, which is putting the ochre colour on. It's been standing out for a while, so it might be a little bit thick. I'll just check it.
Ruth has a brilliant idea for bespoke stencils.
Thank you, Ruth. Yeah, this is thick as well, so I mean, look at the state of this brush. But you'll see why the brush is in this state in a minute. I'm just going to have to add some water to that. It's
a bit like me. The older it gets, the thicker it gets.
It's really thick, I'll tell you that. I know I've put too much water in it, but never mind. It says to make it up to the consistency of single cream. But actually, if you've had strawberries recently and you've put single cream on it, it's pretty much like water, I think. So, I mean, if I've just put too much water in here, and if I was particularly being fussy about it, you can just add some more powder to it. But I think I'll be all right with that. I'll be fine. So, next thing that happens is we get our wax. This is the same brand as the milk paint, but it doesn't have to be. It just needs to be a wax. A soft wax is good because you can smush it on. Sorry?
Georgia P is joined us.
Hi, Georgia. He's still not saying your name, is he?
And Paula Rose, did you change just his name because of Mark?
Yes.
I'm sorry.
Yes, we did.
To avoid confusion.
So I'm just sort of dabbing this on. Some days the milk paint will look at the wax and literally fall off. Some days it doesn't. And today, so far, has been one of the days where it just did not want to come off at all. So I'm putting quite a lot of wax on. I'm putting it over the whole area, which, on the days when it wants to fall off, I wouldn't do that. I'd just put it round the edges, perhaps, along the top. But we've had fun and frolics today trying to get this paint to come off. But, as I said to you, that it's unpredictable. Don't leave this too long. Once you've got your wax on, get your coat of paint on, on the quick smart side, because it starts sinking in, being absorbed by the wood. In fact, I'm just going to finish this. In fact, I'm not. I'm just going to go back over there because I can see it's sinking in. I mean, ordinarily, if you're going to put a coat of paint on something, you certainly wouldn't set about it with wax first, because you think it's going to drop off. Right, so let's get some of this onto it. Now you see, as I put it on, it just drags the wax with it. And that's pretty much all you can do. There's so much wax now in my brush. You can actually see it coming away from the wax, being repelled by it.
It's kind of counterintuitive, isn't it? Really,
it's completely counterintuitive. you think you want paint to stick, you wouldn't put wax on it. Just make sure that you haven't got any obvious brush marks like those ones there. That's fine. Then we'll move on to this. I've been stenciling today, so I've got stenciling motion going on. Okay, so we'll go on to the light coloured paint. So you see why my brush is in such a state, because it's picking up all this wax as it's going along. And pretty much from now on, this is just going to have to be a brush that I use for this. Another one. I'll try and get the sort of tops and bottom bits if you can, but you know, it's shabby chic, come on. It doesn't have to be perfect. Having said that, shabby chic should never be an excuse for things not being nice. Things can be nice. Now on other days when I've done this, the top layer of paint hits the wax and goes, no thank you, I'm not sticking on that, and jumps off. It just doesn't want to stay. Today, for whatever reason, and I have no idea why, I'm using the same paint, same wax, same everything, it's just sticking like bloody glue. I did a chest of drawers in this, using this smoke paint, and it was the one that didn't want to come off either. I was a bit sick of the sight of it, to be honest, when I'd finished with it. We were fed up with it, weren't we? But actually, the people who make this paint had given me free samples to do a review of. So once I'd started it, I had to finish it. I was so sick of the sight of the blessed thing. Right, so let's get some of this on here. Has everyone gone to Manda's channel and subscribed? Manda's YouTube channel. She's doing some really interesting things with the thrifting business. I watched her today do a cushion cover, which was lovely. Turned out very nicely. She likes pretty things, does Manda. Not that I'm suggesting you don't, Paula, but you know. Right, so I reckon that's us probably about finished with that. That needs to dry off now before we can do anything else with it, pretty much. So that's what yours may look like. It may not. So I'll give that to you if you can just stick it somewhere to dry. So this is one that's had all of that treatment. And it's dry, it's perfectly dry. It still feels waxy, obviously, because there's a lot of wax on there. But you know, the paints are dry. So this is just, these two have had some sort of treatment to make them look chippy like that. This is how it turned out when I'd done what I've just shown you. And that's not chippy enough for me. I wanted it more dramatically chippy. So the technique is quite simple. You get some tape and you put it over it.
Put a link onto your YouTube channel and Amanda's.
Thanks, Paula. That's good. Spread the love.
I'm trying.
You're trying, are you? You are trying at times. No. Oh, look at this. What an annoyance. That's it, we're back on the straight and narrow. Right, so kind of got it all covered there with tape. I'm just going to fold a corner of that over because I can't be doing that. Right, so now I've got better. Last time I went to get new glasses, might be a year ago or so, the girl, when she handed me my bag with my new glasses in, she said, "Oh, would you like one of these?" She said, "I'm most embarrassed to ask you, it's an ice scraper." I looked at her, I thought, yeah, I'm really interested in that actually, because that, I mean, that's lovely. Get lovely paint effects with that. Waves, whatever, rake, whatever. This is hard plastic, so you get a good edge, and that's a rubber edge. I mean, come on, should have gone to Specsavers. I couldn't help saying that. So I've got that on there. I'm going to use this hard edge to start from the centre. Let's push it out, just so you've got as much attachment as you can. And then you just keep doing this till you just can't be bothered anymore. And it's amazing how quickly the tape gets filled up with paint, so you have to cut a new bit, and it's just a right royal pain. But that's what I've done with all the pieces that I've done, because I want them to look chippier than they are.
She says she doesn't like the unpredictability of milk paint.
Yeah, well, today I've had the opposite side of that ultra chippiness happening, in as much as it just hasn't chipped. I mean, you saw the amount of wax I put down. No paint on earth has a right to stick to that, but it doesn't want to come off. There's bits of it coming off now, but it just drives you mad. You just keep going and going till you just, give up the ghost. Just can't be bothered anymore. I've got scissors that don't cut. I've got sellotape that wants to stick to itself. This is actually really sticky tape. Yeah, I mean, there is stuff coming off, definitely. But I like it when it goes really chippy. It just doesn't want to do it. That's a nice bit. It's just gone, giving me hope that something might happen. More tape, mother. Right, this is going to be the last bit that I do. You've got the idea. The more you want off, if your paint turns out to be an awkward cuss like mine, this is how you kind of go about getting something chippy. If it's too chippy for you, you need to paint over it with some bonding agent in your milk paint. And that's all I can tell you really. Beyond that, it just has a mind of its own.
Very nice though.
Yeah, I do like it. I love that effect. I love the chippy effect. Right, that's going to have to do it. I cannot tell you how much wax I put around here because I wanted that to look particularly chippy because it's the handle. You can sand it, but you don't get the same effect. The other thing is that you'll gum your sandpaper up in absolutely no time. I mean, you could wet distress it if you wanted to, take a baby wipe to it, but that's not the look I want. I want milk paint chippy. So I'll have to make do with what I've got anyway.
Sharon Peters,
Hiya, Sharon. Nice chatting with you earlier. I hope you're okay. Right, so this is the other side, to the side that you've watched me paint. And I did get some nice chippiness. This was when I was still keen. This is the first piece that I did, and I was still quite keen to keep going with me tape and whatever. I mean, that's long since left. So you can see I did get some, get some nice chippy bits. And what I did was I had Mr. Fix-It cut me a stencil, which is this one here. And I put that in the corner, and I put a little bit up that side there, just to make it look pretty. And I'm sure you all know I live in Cumbria, just not far from the Lake District. And I just said, I'd sell my stuff locally, and I wanted something that would speak to local people, not literally. So I wanted it to either say Cumbrian or Lake District or something. And then I thought, no, not Lake District, because every bit of tut that you get says Lake District on it. So I thought Cumbrian. Then I thought, well, what can it be? Cumbrian what? And then I thought maybe Cumbrian Beer Company, Cumbria Lemonade, Cumbria Spring Water. And I thought it might be a bit dodgy. It might be something like that. So I've decided to get Mr. Fix-It to cut Cumbrian Flower Company, because it's going into a florist's to be sold. So hopefully that'll be okay. So I'm gonna put my stencils on with the ordinary acrylic I'd use for artists when I'm doing artwork, that is to say. And I'm just going to use black. You really don't need much paint for stencils. A little goes a long way. And I'm just going to tone it down ever so slightly with a bit of grey. I just want to knock that deep black off it and make it look a little bit more natural. I can't go too grey though, because you won't see it against the background. But black is a very harsh colour. Be careful if you're ever using black for anything. Paintings, furniture, whatever. Black it can go dead on you very quickly. So let's just knock the top off that. I mean, it's still a very charcoal grey, which is fine, but it's not black. I thought this jug of water sitting here was my lemonade, and I just really, really nearly had a drink of that. Not that water would poison me, but I don't like it. So that's that mixed up. I'll just stencil these on. So as you know, I'm sure you all know how to do stencils, but just a quick go through it. Just dab your stencil brush into your colour that you're going to stencil. Get it. Oh, sorry.
No palette cam tonight.
No palette cam tonight. Dab it into the colour that you want to stencil. So your brush is loaded. All of the hairs on the level part of your brush are loaded. And then offload. So keep going like that until there's not much at all left on your brush. If you don't do that, the paint splodges out under your stencils and it looks unsightly and you won't be pleased with it. So, and then it really is a matter of doing this repeatedly, which actually I'm probably very odd in as much as I really like doing this. I find it not necessarily on a live, but I just kind of like the repetition. Your mind can just go blank.
But people are glad I turned the microphone up now.
Yeah. Can you hear it? Sorry guys. It is worth buying a decent stencil brush, that I will say. I've bought loads of stencil brushes in the past and been very disappointed with them. And I'd like to tell you where I bought this from, and I can't remember. It's British made though, so goes without saying it's good, eh? So should you desire to have a stencil that is, going to be local to you, that you want to put on your furniture or your crafting things, or maybe some, you got the thrifting bug like I have, give me a message. The bespoke ones in the club are really not too expensive at all, I don't think. It comes on this lovely 190 Mylar, which is really nice and thick. So you can use it again and again and again. I've got a hair. Extolling the virtues of this brush, and then I've got a blooming hair. Now what you can do when you've finished all of your stenciling, if you want, is just sand over them. Don't stand over it while you can. Sand over it just a little bit, just to knock it back from looking quite so new. Is anybody still with us, Mr. Fix-It?
Yes, they are indeed. And
oh, lovely.
Sheridan says hi, and Paul Rose, let's get some in the discount club stencil brushes, anyone? So she's asking if anybody's got any stencil brushes for sale.
I know. I've honestly must have tried, well, dozens, literally dozens of different sorts of stencil brushes, and they've all been rubbish. Apart from these ones, which came in a pack of 6. Can you just get that giant one from out there, please? It's on the top. Sorry if this is boring you guys. We're having a nice time. Can you show them that, please? While I carry on. I mean, look at that. That is for huge stencils. Yeah, I mean it's that's not even doing it justice.
And then you see the
it's just, it's a big boy. And I'll tell you what, the thing with that is that after you've used it for a while, your hand gets so tired.
Doesn't Vivian have an...
Vivian, we managed to get your stencil away today, so it should be with you very soon. That's not bad, is it? Ordered it today, out today.
Yeah.
So let's see if this is all right. Yeah, look at that. That's so smart. Well done, Mr. Fix-It. So just the same thing here, really. I'll be as quick as I possibly can. Now, I don't wash my stencils out after I've used them, because I think there's always a danger, even with this nice thick Mylar, that you'll catch some of the parts and twist them or bend them, and then it never sits right after that. So I just leave mine with the paint on. Actually makes it darn sight easier to see what they are. And there's no thickness of paint. You know, your paint is so thin that you're putting on here. It doesn't alter the size of the, well, I guess if you did it maybe 50 times. But I've never ever noticed that a stencil's got rough sort of painty edges on it or anything. And I certainly never wash it out. Never. Anyone got any questions about anything at all that you think I might be able to answer? My knowledge is limited, so take care. Somebody had a really nice piece of furniture, I can't remember who it was now, that they were asking what they thought they should do, you know, any ideas please, sort of thing. And I sort of came up with the idea that it would make a nice piece in a nursery. And then I floored myself by thinking that it would be really nice in a pastel grey with different pastel coloured baby shoes, which I think is a really nice idea actually. I don't know where it came from, the idea, who knows it. So on the Miss Paintalot acrylic group, we're going to be doing a little series of back to basics, because we've had a lot of people join us, and the questions that I ask when they join it up is, are you a beginner or you know, professional? What level are you at? And so many people say they are whatever is below beginner. So I think, you know, with the group we've sort of carried along, and we're now doing some quite complicated stuff. But that's no good to the people who've just joined us on that group. So on that group, we'll be going back to basics. It'll be interesting enough for everybody to join along with. It's just a case of getting used to a paintbrush and stuff, isn't it, really? Finding out which paints. Nearly there, guys.
Those.
Oh, yes, it is.
They're made by.
Who are they made by?
Handover. Handover.
Handover.
And
sold by Jackson's.
Sold by Jackson's.
Right. We'll put a link. I'll try and put a link on the club page. And I'll also put a link on the Miss Paintalot page as well. And if it's your first order with Jackson's, then you get 10% off, which, you know, that's pretty good. Subsequent orders, I'm sorry, no. It's just the first order. So if you think you might want a few things, and it is only in the UK, guys, I'm sorry for you people watching abroad. 10% off. That's quite good, I think. So let's have a look and see what we've got. Look at that. You'd think I'd done stenciling before. So that's our stencils. That's that. I hope you can see this pretty. It doesn't show up that well on the camera, but it's quite pretty flowers down the side. I'm just going to drop this paintbrush, stencil brush into there. That is one thing about stencil brushes that I will say. Wash them out really quickly or drop them into water or something, because they you've got so little paint on them that it dries really quickly. And if it dries on the ends, of course, the paint makes the bristle thicker, so they splay out, and then you won't get a good crisp finish. The other thing, if your stencil brush looks like it's just about to splay out, is put some elastic bands or hair bobble things around it and just keep it in like that while it's drying. Font of useless information, that's what I am. Right, I am going to have a go at putting this box together, this crate together, because I really want to see what it looks like myself. So we've got the two ends. That must go like that, I think. Let me just get my tool out. Where is my tool? Where's my toolie?
I've been fondling it.
Oh. Yeah, here's the screws. You get them with the crate. The long ones, the long ones are the bottom, aren't they? Yeah. Right. So there's 8 short ones, thank you, and 4 long ones for the bottom. I'll just bring this over here in case you missed that. So here's my little screwdriver. I'm just going to start with this one here. I just get the impression this is where it's all going to go wrong. I'm left-handed. I can't do things that way on. Right, so they match up, they match up. Right, let's get some screws in. So it's the shorter ones. So just pop them in there where they're going. Get my little toolie McTool. Do you like my new tool? Come on. And come on. It comes in this box. It's just lovely, isn't it? It's like totally unnecessary really, but it's gorgeous. I need the other side, which is this one.
Stripping that off.
Is it dry?
Yeah.
Yeah? Well, I'll join this up. Okay, I'm going to have to turn this around again because of the left-handed issue. I've got a microphone which I'm trying to not hit. Need to press down harder. Okay, so I've got 3 sides together there. Can I put the bottom on at this stage? No, it has to go on last, doesn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
So, you know, we're you can see where we're aiming for, can't you? You know, see where we're going. Yeah, I know it's upside down. I know. So we'll leave that for a second, and we'll just have another look at this. Trying to get this blooming paint off here. I'm not going to make a long issue of this. I'm just going to do it one couple of times.
Just people seeing how much wax you've put on.
Yeah, that's right.
We'll see what.
And just see how unbelievable it is that the paint doesn't want to blooming come off.
I can make you do this one, of course.
Yeah, I might alter it. So I'm just putting one piece straight along there.
There's Gadgy.
Another piece just above it, so I've covered all that strip along there.
You have to do that.
Thank you. Right, so with my Specsavers tool, I'm going to try the rubber side this time. I'm just going to go along and squish it as best I can.
Jill says she loves how happy you look when you're using the new screwdriver.
I was so happy when I got it. Right, whatever comes off, that's what comes off. Oh, look at that. Looky. Oh, might go on to the other two now. I swear I did nothing different on this one than I did with the others.
Carol Wilson's joining you.
Hello, Carol. I don't think we've spoken before. Nice to meet you. Oh, come on. Maybe it's the rubber side of the Specsavers tool that does it. Maybe it's got the magic touch. Mind you, I think I've tried everything today. Let's give that another. Right, let's see what's happening here. Yeah, okay. Oh, yeah. Oh, yes. And you shouldn't really have to stick tape on to get paint to come off that's over that amount of wax. You shouldn't really. But, you know, if what happens to you, what happened to me has happened to you, this is the fix around, the workaround. Right, this is the last bit that I'm doing. If it needs any more than this, I'll do it after the live, but not tonight because I'm absolutely heart sick of this crepe right now. Okay. Right, well that's it. You know, it's better than it was. I could go on with stickiness for a long time and make that really nice textured. But this is where we're at. So I'm gonna put that down like that.
Wrong way.
Wrong way.
Yeah.
That way.
You're talking about the difference between the top and the bottom.
No, because I forgot myself. There is Mr. Fix-It's quite right in what he's saying. That's a bit wonky, that one. Yeah. The top and the bottom are different. The top's this inside bit here, which you can't see me showing you. But there's a sort of corner piece in it. And make sure that you read your instructions. That's all I'll say. They're not difficult. There's like 2 pages of diagrams. But if you don't, your bottom won't fit. And that is a problem I'm quite well versed in, having bottoms that doesn't fit. Yeah.
The side piece goes all to the way to the top on the top, and it stops short of the bottom to let you put the bottom in.
Yes, you're quite right there. I feel like Pistol Pete, fastest screwdriver in the West. I'm just going to have to put one on this side because it's a bit wonky in true Ikea fashion. So I'm going to have to tighten that one up, I think. Just to pull it square. Seeing as I'm over here, I'll do that one. I'm using my right hand this time, so it's probably... Right, okay, I think those screws are in well enough. Do you think someone's to fix it? Do you reckon?
Yep.
Someone's going to tell you there. Yes. I don't know if I told you this earlier, I can't quite remember. But the inside bits that haven't had any wax on them at all are just the milk paint. Put just a coat of hemp oil over them. Just get some on a cloth, pour your hemp oil onto the cloth and literally just wipe it over them. It's easier to do that before you assemble the crate, obviously. And it gives it a lovely finish. It really does alter the colour of the milk paint, gives it a richness to it. Right, so let's have a look at this bottom. So that must go that way. Does that go that way?
No.
Are you sure? Goes that way?
Yes.
Oh yeah. Lovely. Right, these are long screws, so worth standing up for, guys.
You want to see if you can get this one?
I've got blinking microphones, cameras, lights. You'd think I was a famous film star. Can anybody say that yet?
Yeah.
Right. Let's go for it then, shall we?
Jill says she's off to
IKEA deliver. What do you mean square?
Not a square on it.
Oh, I'm trying. So it's coming outside.
Screws there and you're like that.
It's perfect.
It's perfect.
Mr. Fix-It is hovering, and I'll tell you why. Because he thinks I'm going to call him to come and do this, and I will literally be buggered if I am.
Promises?
Right, straight, he says. So, can you let me know if you've... Sorry, guys. Let me know if you've got some feeling of nausea. Can Could you let me know, please, if you have enjoyed this sort of... could you screw those two for me, please? Sorry. If you've enjoyed these kind of sort of thrifting type video. That looked exactly the same as when I did it. I was just checking there to see if you had any sort of...
You don't have to pull it, or you can do it slower. You can do it slower, it doesn't jump about so much.
Anyway, back to the important stuff, painting. Here is our crate. Upside down crate. So there we are. What do you think, guys? Can you pull out at all?
I'm as out as far as I can go.
You're out as far as you can go.
You could hold it and point it at the big camera, or I could zoom out on the big camera.
No, it's alright. I guess people have got the hang of that's what it looks like. Sides.
Move your head. No, exactly the... No. Can't get far enough back.
Well, I will take a picture of it later and put it on the club. I just wanted to show you while I'm here. This is the large one. As I said, it's £9. If you're not close to an Ikea, which we aren't, they do deliver. And I really think the postage isn't expensive. I think it's something like £2.50 or something. It's not dear at all. Especially if you're getting quite a few crates, which we have done over the years. But this, as I say, is the large one. It's £9. And they also do a small one, which is here, which I shall show you. This sits in our hallway. This was the exact... No, I want it. This had the exact same procedure done to it. And yet, look, I mean, the paint dropped off. So I don't know, I don't understand milk paint, but actually I don't think anybody does. So, you know, these are the sides of the milk paint crate that I did. Really chippy, really nice. But the reason I wanted to show you is that they actually sit inside the top of the large one perfectly like that. Can you see? I don't think they can see that. I think they're looking at the bottom of my crate. Shall I move it along? So it moves along the top. I like that. You getting the gist? You getting the gist? Yeah, just pull back there slightly and they can see on my face one. Yeah, yeah, they're there. So this is the crate we've just done. This is the crate, my crate from the hallway. And they sit inside. This one's exactly fits there. So you can put all your gubbins in there, and you know, you want something out of this side, get it. You want something out of this side, get it. It's really nice. I mean, if you paint them all the same, they look lovely. So guys, I don't think I've got any more pearls of wisdom to share with you tonight. All I can say is thank you very, very, very much for joining me. Yeah, all right, you know, the milk paint perhaps wasn't playing ball, but we got it to look nice in the end, I think. And I really like the stenciling. I was going to say you can just take some sandpaper over that, which might be an idea, seeing as I've mentioned it. I think this might do it. I just want to knock it back just a little bit, so as it doesn't look like it's kind of brand new. No. It's always a good idea, I think, with stencils, if you're trying to put them on an aged piece, to not have them looking smoking new. Right, there you are. I mean, you can carry on sanding more off if you want. That's just to give you an idea of how to knock them back a bit. Okay, guys, thank you very much. Thanks for the invitation to be here and do my live. And I hope you've enjoyed it. I've enjoyed it, actually. It's something different for me. And really nothing much went wrong, which is quite incredible. See you again soon. Bye.